You and I, we use the internet every single day, right? But what we see, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Today, we're going deeper. We're peeling back the layers of the internet to explore the huge hidden worlds that are lurking just beneath the surface.
So let's kick things off with a little question for you. Think about every website you can possibly imagine. Social media, news sites, all your favorite online shops. Everything you can possibly find with a quick search. What percentage of the entire internet do you think that actually is?
The answer might actually blow your mind. It's less than 10%. No, seriously, that's it. Which means over 90% of the internet is completely invisible to search engines, totally hidden from view. So what in the world is down there? Let's take a dive.
All right, we'll start our journey at the top, in the place we all know and love, the surface web. You can think of this as the sunlit, sparkling top layer of a massive digital ocean.
To put it simply, the surface web is anything a search engine can find. It's the internet we all hang out on every single day. From a Wikipedia article to the latest headlines, if you can Google it, yep, you're on the surface web.
So how does this whole thing work? Well, search engines send out these little automated programs. They're often called spiders or crawlers, and their job is to just follow link after link after link, indexing all the content they stumble upon. It all runs on protocols like HTTP, and you've definitely seen HTTPS. That little S just means secure, that your connection is encrypted. Of course, this is also where all those cookies track our data for ads, which is a big reason why the next layer even exists.
But what about all the stuff those spiders can't get to? Well, that brings us to our next layer down, the part of the internet that's hiding behind a wall, the deep web. Now, I know what you're thinking. The deep web sounds kind of spooky, right? It has this mysterious reputation. But the reality is, well, it's actually pretty mundane. It's just all the web content that isn't indexed by search engines. The key here is that it's private, but that doesn't automatically mean it's shady or illegal. In fact, I'd bet you use the deep web every single day, and you don't even know it. Every time you log into your email, check your online banking, or look up your medical records, you're on the deep web. It's basically any content that's tucked away behind a password or a paywall, intentionally keeping those search engine spiders out.
Okay, and this slide right here, this is probably the most important mythbuster of them all. People mix these two up constantly, but the deep web and the dark web are not the same thing, at all. Think of it like this. The deep web is private, like your email. The dark web is private and secretive. You get to the deep web with a normal browser and a login. You need special software just to get into the dark web. One is the vast majority of the internet. The other is a tiny hidden corner.
And that, of course, brings us to our third and most infamous layer, the dark web. This is the part of the internet that's built from the ground up to be hidden, to be anonymous.
So how on earth does it stay so secret? It's all thanks to this really clever process called onion routing, which is used by software like the Tor browser. And the name is perfect, because your data gets wrapped in layers and layers of encryption, just like an onion. It's then bounced between a bunch of random volunteer-run computers all over the world. Each stop on that journey only peels away one layer of encryption to see where to send it next. The end result? It makes it almost impossible to trace a connection back to where it started.
Now, all that anonymity, well, as you can imagine, it has a dark side. This is what gives the dark web its terrible reputation. It has absolutely become a haven for illegal marketplaces selling everything from drugs to stolen data. It's also home to hacking forums and all sorts of extremist groups.
But, and this is a huge but, that is only half of the story. The exact same technology that protects criminals can also be a lifeline for heroes. For journalists, activists, and whistleblowers living in repressive countries, the dark web is essential. It gives them a way to communicate and organize for change without the constant fear of being watched.
Okay, so far everything we've talked about, the surface, deep, and dark webs, they're real, they're technical, but now we're going off the map. We're diving into the digital abyss, into the world of internet folklore, myths, and some wild speculation.
So we've got our three main layers, but what if it goes even deeper? This is where things get weird. We're leaving behind what we know and entering the realm of digital myth and theory.
And the most famous of all these myths has to be Mariana's web, named after the deepest part of the ocean. The legend says it's a layer so deep it can only be reached with quantum computers. The stories say it holds everything from government conspiracies to actual alien communications. But I have to be super clear here. There is zero, and I mean zero evidence that any of this is real.
It's basically a modern digital campfire store.
Okay, so next up is a theory that's a little more grounded in reality, the Mediator Layer. The thinking here is that there could be super secure networks that act as a kind of buffer zone between the dark web and something even more secure. To get in, you wouldn't just need special software, but maybe things like biometric scans, a digital airlock, if you will, for the internet's biggest secrets.
Then you have this creepy idea of the fog, or the virus soup. Now, this isn't really a place you can go to. It's more of a metaphor for the internet's junk drawer. Imagine this chaotic space filled with abandoned code, forgotten software, and old zombie viruses that are still out there just replicating on their own. A swirling mess of digital decay.
And that brings us to the deepest and honestly the most unsettling theory of them all, the primarch system. This is the idea that at the very, very core of the internet, there's an autonomous AI. Not just some clever code, but a potentially sentient system, quietly pulling the strings on everything, completely outside of human control.
And look, I know that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but just think about this quote for a second. As AI gets smarter and more powerful, the idea of some foundational system running things in the background, well, it doesn't sound quite so crazy anymore, does it? These myths, they tap into a very real fear we all have about losing control of this digital world we've built.
So we've gone on this incredible journey, from the familiar surface all the way down into the theoretical abyss. And it really leaves us with one last big question. While something like Mariana's web is probably just a myth, the fears behind it are very, very real. As AI and technology keep evolving at this incredible pace, what new layers are being built right now, just out of our sight? And could they one day operate completely beyond our control? Something to think about. Thanks for diving in with me.